Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at top 10 teams with a buffed Pokemon for season 26 for the Open Great League. The Great League is going to start in around 1 day from this video. And so, yeah, let's take a look at what teams they want to run and what is going to be the meta. Of course, we currently don't have all the values still in the game just generally yet. It's going to be only happening when the season is live. But, of course, we're going to go based on what people has the prediction towards the season. And, of course, if you enjoy this video, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Most of the teams, like basically all of the teams, should work out quite well for the upcoming season. Starting off with a classic Annihilape, Greedent, and the Wigglytuff. And there can be other options that you can run as well in order to fix some of the issues. For example, you can run, for example, even the Bastiodon in the back here if you wanted to, in order to deal with the difficulties against the Fable as well as the Talonflame. You can use your own Talonflame as well in the back that helps out against Fairy-type Pokemon as well. All of this kind of good stuff can work out quite well for you. Here, of course, Annihilape is running the new fast move Low Kick, based on the assumption that Low Kick is going to be 5 damage and 8 energy, which was the only thing that really makes sense for this move in order to, make the buff make sense, basically. And in this case, it's going to be an interesting team. You're also going to run Greedent as a Say-Sub, which is going to have access to the buffed Mudshot, which is a very interesting Pokemon. If you don't want to run Greedent as well, there are going to be plenty of other Pokemon you can run. For example, Wigglytuff, for example, something like a Forretress. They all work out quite well. Normal type Say-Sub kind of helps you out against the Ghost type weakness that Annihilape just always going to have. But also Annihilape here is going to run the move Close Combat, as it's going to be kind of crucial in order to deal as much damage as possible with Low Kick now generating energy faster. You don't have the counter damage adding up anymore, and so Close Combat is going to be here to nuke. The next team is going to be here something that I think makes a lot of sense. We're going to have Swampert, Corviknight, and Corsola. Swampert, of course, got buffed. With Mudshot now generating energy fast enough, Hydrokin is back to its old pacing, which means that this Pokemon is going to be definitely a threat for the meta. Of course, otherwise, this Pokemon didn't change a lot. It got access to Sludge in the meantime, which is not even going to be run here, because it doesn't make too much sense. Earthquake is your nuke option, which Sludge, for example, just doesn't give you. So, this is going to be a very solid team. Corsola in the back actually makes a lot of sense here for this team, because it's going to allow you to hit Pokemon like the Altaria for super effective damage, thanks to the move Power Gem. Generally speaking, it's going to be a very nice neutral Pokemon in the back here for this team. You can use other Pokemon though as well. If you, for example, want to run something like a Toucannon, run Toucannon. If you want to run something like a Shellzapdos, run Shellzapdos. If you want to run any kind of flying type Pokemon, kind of works out there. You can even run the Talonflame, but for Talonflame, it's a bit tricky because Talonflame is generally running fire type charge moves, like charge move and fast move, which is going to be then more awkward against the Altaria. Of course, you have Fly, you have Brave Bird, which is going to be neutral, but generally speaking, something like the Toucannon is going to be more neutral, as well as the Corsola, of course, which is going to have super effective coverage in the Power Gem. Next team, we're going to take a look at Shelgon. Shelgon with the Say-Sub of Forretress with a Volt Switch, which makes a lot of sense as a Say-Sub. You can run a Bug Bite as well, but I like Volt Switch quite a lot. With Santom being buffed, with Rock Tomb being nerfed, it makes a lot of sense though still this team itself. We're going to have the Empoleon in the back. Altaria makes sense as well for this team in the lead, by the way. You can run this as well. You can also reverse it and have Empoleon in the lead, and then a Shelgon Say-Sub, and then the Altaria in the back, or you can use Empoleon lead and the Florges Say-Sub, or the Gudra Say-Sub, and then Shelgon in the back. All of this makes a lot of sense. Just generally, the core of Empoleon plus a Dragon seems to be still very much busted. And I was talking already in the top core video as well for the new additions towards meta, that I feel like that the Swalot plus Sealeo core could be a fun one. Now, there's of course a fun team here. We are early in the season, nobody needs to try hard that much either. But we're going to have a team here that is running Swalot with the move Sludge, which is one of the strongest moves in the game, kinda. 70 damage for 40 energy is very solid, especially with a stat bonus on top of it. And Ice Beam is a coverage, which is going to help you out with the Sealeo lead, which is going to be our Ice type. Then we're going to sub on to Swalot, where people may want to bring in the Altaria, which you're going to be able to counter. And then in the back, we're going to have here either the Charjabug or the Guzzlord. Charjabug is going to be better against fighting type Pokemon, because otherwise you're going to have a lead that's weak to fighting, and closer that's weak to fighting. But Guzzlord helps out with some other matchups like the Galarian Corsola, which can be a little bit of an issue, or the Sableye, which could be a little bit of an issue. So that's where this Pokemon comes in clutch. It's better against those, Ghost type Pokemon mainly. And then you have Charjabug, which is better against kind of anything else. So let's move on to team number 5. We're going to see a Pokemon and a team just generally that really reminds me of old days. And this kind of, I feel like the theme of the recent changes. They kind of want to bring back the Pokemon that were good back in the day, as a Mudshot got the nerf reversed, it was nerfed before, as Wing Attack got the nerf reversed, as Psycho-Cut got buffed in order to bring Medicham back. It feels very much like an old school season, with Sableye being buffed a lot of times in the meantime. This is going to be an interesting team now. Stunfisk, Galarian actually, here is going to be back in play, because you're going to have the Mudshot buff allowing you to get to moves faster. You have a fantastic typing in Ground and Steel, giving you a lot of resistances, with a Sableye here as a Say-Swap, and then in the back, Altaria I actually like a little bit more than Noctowl, but Noctowl makes a lot of sense here as well. Both of them are kind of fine. Why do I like Altaria more? You have a lead that's going to be good against Fairy-type Pokemon. You have a Say-Swap that's going to be able to bait out Fairy-type Pokemon. And then you have Altaria in the back that can close out battles a little bit easier, especially as your lead is going to be able to deal with those Ice-type Pokemon as well. And your Say-Swap is going to have coverage for that as well, with the Rock-type coverage of Power Gem. And so this is why this team makes sense. This is why this team should work. This is why you have a lot of options as well in the back there. Like, there are a lot of different Pokemon you can run. Even as a Say-Swap, yeah, there are some Pokemon that you can run as well. But Sableye makes a lot of sense, as it's going to be better against the Fighting type Pokemon, allowing you to hit the Annihilate for super effective damage, with the Fast move is a very, very nice and just a very nice neutral Pokemon in the current meta that is going to enjoy the Say-Swap position. But you can also run again other Pokemon. Corviknight makes some sense here, I feel like, as well. Yeah, but let's move on to the next team. We're going to have a blue theme here. This was not intentional, but when I put it onto the graphics, I was like, that's kind of funny. Anyway, Articuno. Articuno got buffed with Powder Snow. Quagsire got buffed with Mudshot. Jellicent got buffed like 20 million times in the last few seasons to make it absolutely broken and the best Pokemon in the meta. Fantastic team, I would say. Articuno is going to be here to counter those weaknesses that the Jellicent has in terms of the Grass-type weakness, and that's basically it. The issue here for this team can be sometimes Electric-type Pokemon with the way we are playing it. If you're too scared of Electric-type Pokemon, and then you can get yourself some help as well by going not for the Jellicent at the back, but maybe some other ground-type Pokemon that would allow you to definitely deal a little bit better with them. For example, the Gastron makes still some sense, or the Swampert that we saw earlier has a lot of potential with a flying type in the lead, but they're going to be other alternative options as well. You're definitely going to find a few of them here. It's just a general idea that the Quagsire plus Articuno is actually quite nice, as Articuno is going to be very good against flying type Pokemon. Quagsire is going to be able to bait them out as well, while still having access to Stone Edge in order to knock them out very fast with some nice damage. Let's move on to team number 7. We're going to have the Pelipper in the lead. The Pelipper is a very good core actually with Guzzlord, which I didn't really expect too much, but that is something that I figured out today while researching the meta. Guzzlord Pelipper core is my go-to core now. It's actually very good. Like, not gonna lie, it's actually a very good core. But also you're going to have the Florges as your Say-Swap here for this team, which is going to have access still to Chilling Water, which gives you some water type coverage. So you have your lead that has a water type coverage with Weather Ball, spamming those move like crazy. But then you're going to have the Florges as well to hopefully bait a Pokemon out that, usually don't want to face water types. Issue here maybe could be even Empoleon for this team. That it really depends on how you play it. Empoleon against the Pelipper, most likely you're going to still have some play with the Pelipper as well, as you're going to be able to outspeed them with the Weather Ball being faster than the moveset of the Empoleon just generally. But of course Empoleon is going to have some neutral damage with the Drill Peck. Not too sure on how the matchup is going to go on, but like it's very likely alright still for the Pelipper. I'm fairly certain you can survive with Drill Peck, and it's resisted Metal Sound damage otherwise, so like they mostly have to go for 2, and it's very alright in the 2-shield scenario, so you can very likely plus play out that matchup. Team number 8. A bit more of a meme, but you can play it also as like a very serious team then again. Like that's like basically the meme is what I have in here with Gallade and the Medicham. Gallade should be Shadow to be fair, but both of which are going to be fine. Gallade is going to be an interesting Pokemon. I'm not sure in which position it's actually best yet. I feel like it has potential in all 3 positions of lead, closer, and Say-Swap. Here it's going to be the Say-Swap for the team for now, but I feel like even Medicham could be the Say-Swap and this Pokemon could be the closer, depending on how we want to play it. But again, there's going to be alternative options which are going to be a bit better here instead of the Galarian Stunfisk. It's going to be Bastion. Bastion makes more sense for the Pokemon that we have here, but Galarian Stunfisk is totally fine as well. But then again, we have as potential options here as well the Sableye as well as the Annihilape as substitutes for our backline, which just both work out really well. You need only one of them. If you, for example, you're missing Gallade and you kind of want to run a team like this, where you Sableye as a Say-Swap, then you're missing Medicham as a closer, or like you want to run Medicham as your Say-Swap, then you use the Annihilape in the back. You can also use the Sableye still in the back. It's very flexible. All 4 Pokemon in the back make sense. With a Steel type in the lead. That's kind of what it is. We're going to have Pokemon that are all very good against Fighting type Pokemon, and so like having a Steel type in the lead, they're kind of getting well covered. Alright, that's more of a meme team here, but I want to have a Flamigo team. I want to make a team here as well with the Hawlucha. And why not have both together with the Cradily in the lead? This makes a lot of sense. A lot of Pokemon that here are actually going to be fine for you. And there's the thing as well, like Flamigo apparently is going to be just generally a very good Pokemon with a Wing Attack. Wing Attack is going to allow you to get to the moves, I think, not faster. I think it's actually the same speed, but it's a 2-turn fast move, which is just generally considered better. But we're going to have here the weakness of the Medicham, which if you bait it out with your Flamigo, you're actually going to be in the right spot, I feel like. Hawlucha, I'm not sure about the aerial ace yet. You can also go for the charge move of Exeter, which is 40 energy instead of 45 energy, which then will allow you to get to the moves a little bit faster compared to what the aerial ace is doing. And for the final team here today, we're going to have Slowbro. And I waited for this because I wanted to give you an advantage if you watched the video until the end. And you think I'm messing. And you're wondering, are there Stunfisk? Is there even a buff on this team? And yes, there is. And let's take a look at the monster, the Pokemon that you would never expect in the meta, but the Pokemon that will destroy you in this meta, Slowbro. Slowbro has access to Drain Punch, a move that is very much useless, at least recently, until it now got buffed. It is doing the double amount of damage than before, which doesn't mean that this move is strong at all. It is doing 40 damage now instead of 20. 20 was horrendous, really not usable, but 40 changes things, because what Slowbro has, which you can play to your advantage, is actually already a very good bulk, a fast move that is stab and doing solid damage, and with Ice Beam a coverage move that is actually really solid. And now let's take a look at the wins, and there are quite a lot of top meta Pokemon that you can win against. And then Steelix as a Hailstorm makes a lot of sense for this team, and then the Stunfisk on the back makes a lot of sense for this team, to the point that I think this would be a very interesting team to take a look at. And if you want me to try it out, then leave a like on the video. But this is going to be it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow, where we'll go for some interesting videos. I want to do a prep guide as well for you for the new season, so definitely stay tuned for this. If you want to see it, follow for more. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.